Gentlemen, I'm honoured to be joined with you once again. Today we're going to be discussing the Egyptian Citizenship by Investment Programme, analysing whether it's a good option for your personal passport portfolio and how it compares to other programmes in the region. Now, when we talk about the Egyptian Citizenship by Investment Programme, when we talk about Egypt as a country, it's the type of programme that you hear about on the grapevine. But I personally haven't heard anyone say, yes, I've actually become an Egyptian citizen through their investment programme. It doesn't seem to be the most popular route. And to be honest, when we look at it, I can kind of understand why, and I'm sure by the end of this video you will understand why too. A lot of people I've heard say, yes, I've done the Caribbean citizenship by investment programs. I've done Turkey, I've done Malta. I've done Egypt, though. It's not a phrase that I hear a lot among people who have actually done citizenship by investment programs before. It doesn't seem to be very popular. It seems to be one that is sort of, again, hiding in plain sight, but one that people sort of know about, but they don't really take too much interest in. And to be honest, in a way, I understand why, but this program also does have benefits that are monumental for you to know so that you can make an actual justified decision. So if we first go over the investment requirements, what do you need to do in order to be able to qualify for the Egyptian Citizenship by Investment Program? Well, similar to that of the Turkey CBI program, there are multiple methods that you can do. You don't have to just do one strict method for everyone. It's not a one-size-fits-all type of scheme. You have multiple programs at your advantage that you can decide which one is the best one for you. And the first one would be for you to donate 250,000 American dollars into the state's public treasury. So basically you're investing into the country directly at that point into the state's treasury. 250,000 American is one of the options. Personally, I haven't heard anyone who has even done this program before in the niche quantity that there are say, yes, I've done this methodology. That is one step that you could do, but it isn't the most popular one. The next one, to be honest, is the most popular one. That would be the real estate option. And if you want to qualify for Egyptian citizenship through the real estate by investment program, you have to invest 300,000 American dollars into Egyptian property. Now, this one is actually quite beneficial, to be honest, because it doesn't just have to be some house in Cairo. For example, you can actually invest into different types of property. For example, you can invest into multiple properties, so you don't have to just buy one villa in Egypt, for example. If you want to buy two and you have the money for that, you can do that. If you want to buy land, again, you can do that as well. You can also invest in a development project, so the house doesn't even need to be ready, to be honest. You can still do it that way. Although similar to the Turkey program, you have to hold on to the property in Egypt for a total of 5 years. So it's not something where you buy the property, you get the Egyptian passport, and you immediately sell it 1 week later. No. You have to hold on to it for a long time. But after that, you are well within your rights to sell it. You also have the business investment route, where if you invest 350,000 American dollars into a new or existing company in Egypt, then you can also qualify for the Egyptian passport via the Citizenship by Investment Program. But just be aware, if you are going to do the business one, it isn't 350,000, it's technically 450,000, because you also have to invest 100,000 American dollars into, again, the state's public treasury. And the final method that you could do to qualify for the Egyptian program, this is one that Turkey has actually identical to us, but just adjusted for their own local currency, is to deposit 500,000 American dollars into an Egyptian bank account. However, there are two monumental things to know. One, it has to be in Egyptian pounds, so you can't keep it in dollars. The Egyptian pound is not the strongest currency in the world. As of recording, you're going for about £70 to the US dollar, to be honest. So it's not a strong currency at all. It has to be held in that. Two, there's no interest on the currency at all. You can get the currency back, you can get your deposit back after 3 years of holding it in an Egyptian bank account, but you're not going to gain interest on that, and also you're going to get it back in Egyptian pounds. So if the Egyptian pound goes down, you've sort of lost money in that regard. You're going to get some of it back, but so it's not as good as being able to hold it in US dollars or the euro or something like that. So those are the investment requirements. Now if we move on to what are the benefits of the Egyptian Citizenship by Investment Program, well, there's one that really sticks out, to be honest, when we compare it to other programs out there. That is that it's open to all nationalities. Now, yes, if you're an Israeli citizen, what are the chances of you getting the Egyptian passport? They're probably quite low. But if you are coming from a country that is sanctioned, such as, the big sanctioned countries, I don't think I can say on this channel, then you can qualify for this program. Egypt is not a country that's going to shoo people away who maybe come from a country that the West doesn't like. So if you're from a country like that, you're not going to see major issues in Egypt, to be honest. That's a major incentive, because the Caribbean community sort of shuns these nationals. You have other programs out there like the Malta program that doesn't really allow them to do it anymore, though the Malta program is dying in due course, so not a lot of people will be doing that program anyway, regardless of where they're from. But the benefit with Egypt is is that you don't really have to worry about being discriminated against based upon your nationality alone. Now, yes, if you come from a country like Israel or maybe Iran or something like that, what are the chances of you getting the passport? They're probably quite minuscule. But in general, when compared to countries around the world, they're not going to shoo a lot of people away. Another benefit is that there are no language requirements. You don't have to learn Egyptian Arabic, which is the standard Arabic that many people who are learning Arabic are going to learn. But if you want to qualify for this program, you don't have to learn Arabic. Now, yes, if I personally would do this program and I'd want to live in Egypt for the rest of my life, you already know that I'm going to learn Arabic. Arabic is a beautiful language, it's a great language. But if you just want the passport, you don't have to learn Arabic beforehand. It's going to take a long time. To be honest, it's going to take longer to learn Arabic for most people than to actually get the passport from the day of investment to the day of actually naturalizing in the country. That's another major benefit worth talking about. There's also no residency requirements. This is quite rare for the Citizenship by Investment program. Now, the Caribbean community still maintains this. Malta, I know Malta is dead, but I'm still pretending that's alive in my heart. Malta had residency requirements. A lot of CBI countries have residency requirements. Egypt is not one of them. Now, yes, you do have to go to Egypt a couple of times naturally, but you don't have to live in Egypt long term in order to qualify for this. That's another major benefit that sort of makes it stand out among the other competitive programs out there. Dual nationality is also naturally allowed. It's not going to be a program where you naturalize in Egypt and the Egyptian government is going to knock on your door saying, oh, well, excuse me, good sir, thank you for the investment, by the way. Give up your other passport. You are now Egyptian. You should only be Egyptian. It's not going to happen. Egypt allows dual nationality, which is a very good thing. As you know, if you follow this channel, dual nationality is monumental for me because it's monumental for your personal passport portfolio. Because what is citizenship diversification without the allowance of dual nationality? And the final benefit that I'm going to be talking about here is that you can include your spouse and your child, assuming the child is under the age of 21, into your application. So if you have a family, you can do this program. It's not going to be a problem at all. And if you want to do this program just you personally, you don't even have to be 21. You can be 18, have the exact amount of money required, and do this program. That's not going to be a problem. But if you are a family type of person, which is great, then you can also include your spouse and your child, assuming they're under the age of 21, in this program too. But like with many things, it isn't the perfect program in the world. It isn't the perfect citizenship. It isn't the perfect country in the world. And now let's move on to the cons. Now, the most famous one with Egypt, Turkey, has a similar problem, is that they do have mandatory military service. Now, with Egypt, again, if you're going to do the investment program, I very much doubt that they're going to be knocking on your door because you are an essential cannon fodder for them. I very much doubt that, to be honest. But it's still a country where that is a risk, right? Also, if you have multiple passports, you might be a security risk anyway, especially if you are Israeli and somehow are able to naturalize in Egypt. However you can do that, guaranteed to be a security risk, so they definitely wouldn't allow you to do that. So with dual nationality, that is a major good thing, that you are a security risk to some people, to be fair, but still it is a bit of a risk, especially for your future children. Like I said, you can have your family do this program, you have your children do this program. If you have a son, if you have two sons, then one of them is going to have to serve in the Egyptian military, whether they have two passports or not. They might get in trouble for not doing that. So that is a risk worth knowing. That is one of the major downsides to it. I always hate it when a country has that. I hate it when Estonia has that. I hate it when every country has that. Turkey also has that, but at least you can pay your way out of it. That's somewhat acceptable. But these type of programs, really not fond of. To be honest, I view all of them, no matter what the country is, as a major human rights violation. Again, another issue with the passport is one that I imagine a lot of people would have predicted would be that it's just not a strong travel document. To be honest, it's a really weak passport. To be honest, you're not gaining a lot of countries with the Egyptian passport. The only thing you're really going to gain is your right to live in Egypt, especially if you're a Western. You're going to gain the right to live in Egypt. Also, you're going to have visa-free access to Iran, but there are other passports that have visa-free access to Iran. And if you are desperate to go to Iran, the Egyptian passport is not the best option in the world. If that's the only reason you want a citizenship, there are better passports that will also grant you that visa-free access. But to be honest, when we think about it, the right to live in Egypt and the right to enter Iran without a visa isn't, for me, a large enough incentive to ever even consider doing this program, especially with their military service risks as well for my future children, what have you. It's a program that, in general, I'm not too fond of. And also, Egypt, the Egyptian passport as a whole, has a bit of a bad reputation. You're not going to do well with applying for visas to other countries with the Egyptian passport. It's not a respected passport. There are much better programs out there. Even the Turkish passport, which again isn't the best passport in the world, is significantly better than the Egyptian passport, and it's about the same price range. The Turkey one is still currently a little bit cheaper. They're saying they're going to increase the price. We'll have to wait for that to come in the future if they do decide to do that. But when I compare it to other programs out there, I can see that the Egyptian passport is not popular for this reason. A, comes with many downsides. B, for what it is, in my view, is quite expensive. Why on earth would anyone do the Egypt program when they have Nauru? Even Vanuatu has a terrible reputation. It's about a third of the price. The passport is actually stronger, surprisingly enough. The reputation is about equal. I'd say maybe Vanuatu is a little bit worse in regards to economic investment and migration. But still, there are much better programs out there where there's less risk, more personal freedom, and also you don't have to spend that much money and get a much better passport. Let me know what you think about the Egyptian citizenship by investment program. Do you think it's a good option, or do you think it's a bad option for your personal passport portfolio and personal freedoms? Let me know down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, be sure to hit that like button. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. I'll hopefully see you in the next one. But until then, eternal victory to the free people.